Hey guys, welcome back to Internet Tomato, where we dive deep into the dark, twisted, and epic lore of Tainted Grail. I shall be your guide to unraveling the mysteries of Avalon. Today, we are continuing our lore series by going over the second expedition's final quest in Avalon before venturing into Tuathan. This video aims to provide a balanced introduction for new players and fans alike, ensuring everyone walks away with more knowledge. Keep in mind that the lore is still developing, as Tainted Grail has games planned for the future to supplement what we know, and things are somewhat subject to change. Also, if you wouldn't mind, please like and subscribe, or you might just get turned into a menhir. So, let's get into this. Last we left off, we went over the second expedition's journey in Avalon. The members found the true Holy Grail and were feeling their way through Avalonian politics. They decided to make a return journey to Tuathan and went to find Orin for answers, at Neonte's suggestion. The shrewd, brilliant archdruid demanded the expedition to prove themselves worthy of his help. In the Discord, which I would love for you to join, I asked, do you think that the second expedition would have decided to destroy or rebuild the Round Table? It looks like you guys generally agree that the Round Table will likely be rebuilt. I much prefer this decision in the board game, as you will see in today's video. Deciding to destroy the Round Table just feels so wrong on several levels. The idea of trying to make the system even worse to force a revolution, that never sat well with me. It's very weird, yeah. Why'd you do that? Orin's refined rituals made relighting menhirs effortless, opening Avalon to the expedition. Merlin's last apprentice demanded that they prove heroic worth for his guidance, not wanting to chance throwing people into the Tuathan meat grinder. Crossing Weirdedge's precarious bridge, they faced mutually exclusive quests: reform the crumbling Round Table or forge the House of Commons. Only one could succeed. The Round Table's revival would crush the Commons, and vice versa. The canon remains ambiguous, but the Song of a Dying World TTRPG hints at a truth. They seem to pair two key choices together with destroying the Round Table, and these key choices do appear to be canonical. So I am assuming that destroying the Round Table is canonical, which I never liked when playing the game, especially when the chips are down and you actually have to make the decision. So I will cover both of the endings to these quests coming up, and I will note the differences. Recalling Lancelot's prior words, they tracked the missing knights. The Round Table is gone from Camelot, Lancelot says with a deep sigh. So many knights are lost. I struggle to keep count. Gaheris keeps the revolt at bay. Bors disappeared in the west when he tried to put a stop to a bloody feud between Crow's Nest and Timberwall. Bedivere and Palamedes are on a secret mission up north. They asked for help, so I sent Gawain their way. Now all three are gone. Agravain went to the gates of Tuathan to confirm the rumors of Foredweller reappearance. Geraint is dead. The druids at Moonring had the right to name his replacement, but they failed to do so, for reasons unbeknownst to me. Lamorak headed west to the other side of the island, investigating the danger of the weirdness. I haven't heard from him since. As for Galahad, he's been lost for a long time now, but we can't pick his replacement until this death is confirmed. The Order of the Round Table has never been this close to annihilation. Yvain had fallen. Gawain succumbed after yielding Excalibur's scabbard to the expedition. Bedivere and Palamedes lingered at the tombs of the Order, and Fael, the previous Sir Galahad, was confirmed dead. With this in mind, about half of the quests were already completed. Starting nearest Camelot, the expedition headed to Camelot's burrow. On Lancelot's command, Morgaine's great-grandson, Sir Gaheris, quelled a brewing revolt, threatening the city's defenses and effort to keep humanity safe from the weirdness. Gaheris, a giant of a man, sharing Morgaine's iron fist, bore a fearsome reputation. Lancelot trusted him to crush the uprising. Towering in pitch-black armor, his voice boomed like thunder. Gaheris led Camelot's forces. The rebels demanded Weirdness protection, accusing Lancelot and Morgaine of neglect amid some personal survival schemes. They plotted a ragtag siege on Camelot, but Lancelot and Gaheris deemed it a death march, ending in a bloodbath, with Camelot fully intact and countless civilian losses. The revolt had already slaughtered the borough's mayor and a family, including children. Morgaine dreaded loyalists being strung up in the streets, and this fueled the dispatch of Gaheris. The Red Death exacerbated the grievances. Camelot quarantined districts, imposing lockdowns and sacrifices to preserve viable areas. Regardless of allegiance, the expedition bolstered troops with arms, magic, and strategy, then mediated with the opponents, urging the minor factions to stand down. The battle lines formed. Revolutionaries clashed with Gaheris' retinue. Rebels executed Camelotian loyalists and merchants to break the knights' morale, while Gaheris, a colossal dread knight, carved through foes, deaf to pleas of surrender. The prolonged melee left Gaheris blood-soaked but victorious. His troops were decimated. Unable to root rebels out from the borough's shadows without reinforcements, he retreated, fury promising vengeance as insurgents scattered into hiding. There were no saints in this conflict. If the expedition aided Gaheris in the skirmish, he would have been able to return to Camelot to receive new orders from Lancelot. But if the expedition aided the rebels, Gaheris would be too busy to help the Round Table combat the weirdness in a unified manner. Following the skirmish, Camelot's burrow settled into an uneasy stalemate, tension simmering in every alley. The expedition journeyed west to locate Sir Bors, unseen during the War of the Three Lords, but said to have mediated infighting weeks earlier. At the Bloodied Glen, where the fiercest clash erupted, they discovered a somber pyre, Sir Bors' remains. After Mordred shattered Lady Kincaid's siege of Timberwall and demanded payment from King Ultan for the aid, Bors stepped in, hoping to persuade Mordred to claim the battlefield plunder and withdraw. Feeling betrayed, Mordred ordered the knight's execution, and Bors was overrun by Mordred's mercenaries. Avalon mourned Bors, one of the Round Table's rare noble hearts. Dejected, the expedition sought Sir Agravain, reportedly scouting Longbarrow and Tuathan's Mouth for a Fordweller reclaimer. Agravain believed interrogation could reveal ways to avert Avalon's fall. If anyone knew how to revive menhirs, surely it would be the Fordwellers. Tracking the target for days, he denied the expedition's urgings to return to Camelot, vowing to fulfill his quest in life or death. Reluctantly aiding them, they cornered the weird magic caster. In a brutal clash, Agravain and the expedition subdued the Fordweller, but it stayed silent. A weeks-long, fruitless endeavor. Determined to finish his mission, Agravain persisted, arrogantly chasing elusive answers, unable to shift to more promising leads. The expedition faced a critical choice: summon him to Camelot to bolster Lancelot's crumbling order, or hasten the Round Table's collapse by allowing his futile hunt to continue. The final missing knight was Sir Lamorak, and the expedition had scant leads as they scoured the weirdness-infested reaches. They found him in the Horns of the South, seated at a desolate camp, gaze fixed on Tuathan's distant walls. White-haired and the Round Table's eldest, Lamorak had sought to venture west beyond Riverfall, retracing the Executor's ancient path with Merlin centuries ago. He believed some forgotten artifact could counter the encroaching weirdness, likely hoping there could have been some forgotten notes of the Archdruid that could help solve the crisis. Tragically, paths lay swallowed by impenetrable weirdness and impassable voids. Viewing this as his last quest in his twilight years, Lamorak was sitting defeated, its futility crushing his spirit. Rousing the aged knight, the expedition reminded him that though his days waned, his sword and shield endured. They urged him to wield them one final time. A spark reignited in Lamorak's eyes. He dismantled his camp with renewed purpose. The expedition faced another pivotal choice: drive Lamorak into the weirdness to slay monsters until his end, honoring the warrior's heart, or persuade him to return to the Round Table, bolstering Lancelot amid the ceaseless civil war and stabilizing chivalry's fragility. With all knights either restored to the Round Table or disbanded, the expedition faced their final trial before earning Orin's aid, finding Sir Geraint's successor. Heading to Moonring, the druidic order tasked with the Round Table's nominations, they uncovered a deadlock. Druids split between two candidates, stuck in debate. You spend some time talking to the Elder Smith, Morfran, and the Druid Acolyte, Briogach. The Smith boasts about the time he spent near Brock Cruach, where he helped people escape slavery. The young man claims he spent many months in the Whitening, tending to people struck down with a strange disease. Geraint's cousin confided her fears, believing the candidates tarnished her kin's legacy, hiding dark secrets. Investigating, the expedition traveled to Brock Cruach. Locals exposed Morfran. He was no liberator. He forged the slavers' shackles, devoid of nobility, and he wasn't even a good smith. In Whitening, Briogach's tale unraveled. He harvested white lichen from the city, peddling false cures to travelers, expelled by furious citizens before fleeing to Moonring upon Geraint's death. Returning, the expedition deliberated intensely. To hasten the Round Table's fall, backing either fraud, a slaver or conman, would erode chivalry's honor, convincing Avalon that the order must end. Alternatively, they could champion Geraint's cousin, the first woman knight in centuries, her bloodline and keen intuition unmasking the liars, potentially revitalizing the table's legacy. Whether bolstering the Round Table or eroding its legacy over the weeks, the expedition earned acclaim from Avalon's factions. Traversing the island end to end, their names echoed among nobles and village leaders, deeds forging a formidable reputation. Laden with mementos from grateful leaders, they returned to Weird Edge for Orin's judgment. En route, the Four-Dweller champion shadowed them once more. Now battle-hardened, having bested it already, the expedition repelled it with newfound ease. Realizing defeat was untenable, the hunter retreated, only to re-emerge stronger, more lithe, and youthful. Each recovery elevated it, morphing into a superior being. The expedition grappled with this enigma, its escalating power a chilling harbinger of inevitability. Returning to Orin's eccentric Weird Edge Cranog, the expedition felt their trials were complete. Presenting their memento from Avalon's leaders, they watched Orin's nod of approval. He deemed them worthy. Brewing tea in his cluttered kitchen, he recounted the decades past. He and a dozen others entered Tuathan to reach its heart, a catastrophic failure. Yet Orin forged a reality-tethered refuge within, likely still intact. offering respite for those willing to enter the heart of the weirdness. He revealed the first expedition's exit, Riverfall's treacherous mouth. Guiding them to the correct waterfall, Orin issued a final warning. This is likely a one-way journey, demanding the utmost preparation for any hope of success. Prolonged weirdness exposure, he cautioned, would mutate or permanently alter them, urging haste. As they scribbled notes before departing, Orin's eyes betrayed unspoken secrets, a shadow of deeper peril was lurking in the journey, but he kept it to himself. Hearts heavy, with Avalon's fate resting on the Holy Grail in their possession, the expedition trekked westward to Riverfall. The roar of Tuathan's waterfalls guided them to Orin's specified entrance. Spotting it, they descended the cliff face the first expedition had ascended months prior. Hauling the true grail, they entered a waterfall spilling from a carved cliffside mouth, its trickle gentler than the others. A partial cave-in narrowed the passage, easing the fight against the rushing water. Gripping handholds, they shattered rock, forcing entry, but also forcing the water flow to gush. The water surged, demanding held breath as they battled nature's fury, inching upward. Lungs burned, doubt was creeping. Were Orin's directions true? At the brink of collapse, light and shifting water appeared. Surging forward, they gasped, inhaling weirdness-laden air. Scanning the haze, tendrils and living fog swirled. Your eyes burn as you emerge into the shifting expanses of Tuathan, where structures of impossible complexity stick out of pure weirdness in different directions. Your sense of distance fails, just like your sense of what's up and down. Gusts of warm wind bring hundreds of unusual smells. Getting anywhere here will be a challenge. Tuathan's alien reality engulfed them. The Grail's weight a solemn anchor in a realm defying comprehension. Tuathan defied all expectations. Orin's warnings of food and coin morphing like elements paled against the lived bizarrity. Fears transmuted into hope, pain into boons, life into illogic. The expedition gazed skyward at shifting events, a tale of strange adventurers mirroring themselves. Unbeknownst to them, it depicted the Age of Legends executors. Thebalt and Cowlin were leading, Nazar, Duana, and Neve were trailing. Absurdities assaulted them. Flesh walls, membrane floors, weirdness creatures fell to their blades as they traversed the Four-Dweller ruins, relics of a dead civilization. Reality warped. Food turned repugnant and unsustaining. Only gold and gems were nourishment. Their essence was altered. Hours blurred into days, with scant progress. Distance was distorted, yet land coalesced, revealing Orin's resolve, a reality beacon amid the weirdness. Out of the chaotic filigree structures of Tuathan, a solitary building raises itself on four crooked legs. Its walls of rough stone look distinctly out of place. Arrow slits instead of windows, and a narrow entry seem to indicate its defensive purpose. It was obviously built by humans, but the platform the abode rests on, and the four pillars that support it, are made of pure, thought-bent weirdstone. In Tuathan's madness, the expedition stood at Orin's sanctuary, the Holy Grail, their flickering hope to heal Avalon and the Menhirs, their odyssey a defiant spark against the weirdness's tide. The only question that remained was if their actions truly were their own, or could it be fated, like they were actors in a cosmic, unchangeable play. In the next one, we will be going over the journey into Tuathan and the showdown to come. But for now, please like, subscribe, join our Discord for random polls and Tainted Grail chats. Thank you all so much for watching. I love you guys, appreciate you guys, I really do adore all of you. I hope you guys are having a good day, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. See you later, bye-bye, God bless.